Hey guys, Luke here from the Rugby Pro Academy. We're going to go through all things block shape here today. The one thing I really want to get at this is why we're running block shapes and then how we're going to execute it and what you need to know about your role to execute that play. Now, we can go deep dive, and we do deep dive in the Rugby Pro Academy, but here we're just going to go through the very basics so you can go out today, tomorrow, use it at training, and then use it in the game, and I'm sure you'll execute it a lot better. So the first thing we need to know is why are we running these block shapes? And if you don't know why you're running a shape, you probably shouldn't do the shape. So for us at Rugby Pro Academy, we always say we run the block shapes because we want to ask questions of the defense and the defender. So if we're just passing and the player just runs it up, we don't do anything, we've got no moves or anything, we're not changing our angles up, that defender can easily just make the tackle, and that's all they have to think about. Where if we actually go to the line with a block shape or changing our lines, we're actually asking questions as a defender. So if we run a block shape, a defender has to say, okay, do I have to go in and take the front runner, or do I have to go at the back? And that's quite tough. If you play at the line, if you be aggressive at the line, everyone knows their job and they're doing it well, they're going to have to make that decision. Under pressure and under fatigue, they have to make that decision, which is pretty tough to do. So we're going to go through a few things here, but before we do, let's go just a few roles and what you should be thinking. So if you're a ball runner, you're kind of the general of the block shape, I would say. So there's two things I just want to get through today is you have to play direct and you have to be quite aggressive. So if you got the ball and if you play early, so you're not going to the line, or you go crossways and you just pass the ball, the defender can easily just shift across. My main objective as a ball runner, I want to hold my defender up in front of me, okay? I want him to get stuck in the mud or, get sit in a chair, as you say, so they just can't move across, and that's when I know I've got them. So as a ball player, you're in charge. You want to go direct towards your player. You want to be quite aggressive, okay? Aggressive doesn't always mean speed, just means you know where you're going, and then you can play your play. So I'm just going to touch those two things for that one, and we'll talk a few more when we go through the clips. That's for the ball runner. For the front runner, this is a huge job as well. Now, the front runner's timing, everyone's timing is really important, but the front runner's timing is really, really important. You want to be in options at all times. A lot of people do the blocks where the front runner will run just way too early. You're not really an option because the defender can just go by. You want to be an option all the time, and that's going to put pressure for that defender to think, oh, do I have to come in or do I have to go out? So it's really important you always practice your timing off the ball player inside of you. So the main thing objective is, first of all, the front runner has to have great timing. And after that, they have to always try and get that inside shoulder of that defender. And that's going to bring the defender in, and that's when we can play at the back. If the defender stays out, we can play forward and hit you. So you always got to be an option. And you'll have a look at some of these. Some of these don't work out great, like you see some of the clips here. But because everyone's in motion, everyone's a true option, it works. It really does change that defensive line up, and you can actually put some dents in there. Another thing with the front runner, you want to be quite narrow. You want to bring in the defense. And then if you play at the back, people are going to be so narrow, they won't be able to get out wide as well. So not all the time you play narrow, but 90% of the time you probably be quite narrow, and you'll have a look at the setups here, and they are quite narrow. So for that one, the front runner, all I'm thinking is timing in this lesson, timing and hitting that inside shoulder. You're an option, and you've done a pretty good job, I think. Now we're going to talk about sweeper runner, or the person at the back. Now, they've got a pretty important job. First of all, timing is a big issue. You've got to be on the outside of that front runner all the time, so the time is going to be there. But at the Rugby Pro, we always say you have to be a bit like a stealth fighter. So you want to be hiding yourself until the last minute. So that defender doesn't even know you're there until the last minute. Okay? So if you can, well, I always say if you can start right behind the ball player, or even on the inside, a meter on the inside or a step on the inside, that's a pretty good start to start your run. And then at the last minute, you're going around, and you can time it right. And as soon as you get that ball, you're putting the afterburners on, because you want to think the defense is not going to be running the ball as hard as you. So you can beat him just by sheer intensity and by speed. But you'll have a look at some of the clips here, and the back runner, they're 10 meters inside the ball runner. They time it perfectly, and they come across, and all of a sudden it just shocks the defense because they don't know you're there. So always think about that stealth. So that's pretty simple things, but simplicity of this move is what makes it work, okay? If you try to add on too many things and you think about too many things, it kind of gets unstuck. So if you can get those as a ball runner, you know your job. As a front runner, you know your job. And as a sweeper, you know your job. And you can execute that. Then you can start building other things. You can change your lines up and stuff like that. But you kind of have to know the rules before you can break the rules. So here we go. We're going to go for the first one. Have a look at your job and other people's job. You should look at everyone. So even if I'm a ball player, I should be having a look at the front runner, because now I know these front runners, what they need to do, and the back runner. So have a look at all angles and then put it into your playing today, tomorrow at training, or in a game. So here we go. We'll get going first with this one. This is a great play here. And this is, you have a look at the front runner. He's going to go direct. He's going to get that defender held up, which is, he does a great job. And then front runner always goes on the inside shoulder, takes that second defender out, and then he plays at the back, and it's just a great try. So we'll go through it here. Boom. It's just a beautiful try. We'll go back again, one more. Just there, and you have a look. You can see as a ball player, we talked about being direct, being aggressive, but there's a couple of cues you have to know as a ball player if you want to be good at doing the block shapes as well. So as a ball player, as soon as I know I've got my man held up or her held up, the second player, the second defender, I've got my eyes on them. Now, I've got a front runner here. Now, if I'm like this, I can see that front runner. I can see their shoulders. If they turn in towards my front runner, that's a huge cue for me to play at the back, because that means he's made it, his or her, they've made the decision to come in. That means they're going to be on at the back. And the opposite is true. If you can see them kind of go out a bit and not really worry about that inside runner, or the front runner, I should say, that's when you hit the front runner and they're going to be straight through. So two really big cues, and they can communicate really well, the front runner. If it's really, really on, they can say, mine, and it makes your job a bit easier. Or at the back, they should be calling your name as well. But that's one thing you really have to be good at as a ball player, is come to the line, holding the defender up, and actually picking what this second defender is going to do. If he comes in, play at the back. If he comes out, play forward. If they're quite passive and not doing anything, it's pretty good just to hit the front runner, because you're going to get through. And usually it's a small defender as well. But as you can see here, they picked a great move to do. Everyone knew their role. They pinpoint who they want to get to. Because in games, especially in rugby league, the front runner is going to pinpoint a player they get to. So maybe it's second in from the sideline. So you got the winger and the second player. You might be sending that center right into that inside shoulder of the second defender on the outside. And then you got the fullback coming around, and it creates an overlap. So it's really important we know who we're getting at. We're direct, we're executing, but we're just precise in everything we do. And that's what you have to be with block shapes. You have to be precise. And, you know, more than likely, if you're precise and everyone knows their timing, they know their roles, everyone's an option, everything's flowing. And you can see the good teams do these block shapes. It's very fluidy. It's not stop-start. Everyone's in the same motion. Everyone's going together. Great pace. And we'll see the next one here as well. So we'll put this one on. This one is a great one as well. This one's of the girls. Oh, it's a bit too early then. I'll put it back. So that was just the one we just went through. Now, this is the girls. You'll have a look. Now, have a look at the front runner. We'll have a look at the front. So front runner is going to be quite direct. This is a great, the ball player is going to be quite direct. This front runner does a great work. It just holds it up. She's an option. And then it's up to the ball player to play short or play at the back. We'll play it here. See what they do. I think I've got another one after this, which is, here they go. Just play short. You can play short. Picked a great one. She probably could have just played at the back. Exactly the same move, different game. Exactly the same. You can see, boom. Just everyone knows their role. Everyone's together. So it doesn't seem like one person's doing something, one person's way at the back, or she's overrun it. Everyone's on the same page. And that's what it takes to run a good block, especially when you're under pressure. And sometimes when you're under pressure, that's when you really have to nail the passes and nail the decision that you're making. So communicate well, but just do it over and over and over again. Touching it every day you're at training, that's for sure. So great work from the guy. I just thought that was unbelievable, especially the girls. Here, the blocks aren't it's precise, but because everyone's in motion and they're just beating for pace, a few wrong decisions there as well, and it's just on. Now this is an unbelievable one as well. This is the Sharks again. We'll go back to it. Have a look at the Sharks here. And I want you to have a look at the sweeper runner here. Now the sweeper runner, see the sweeper. So the sweeper runner was even. You can't even see before, but he was even for inside the number 6 even more. So his time is run to the last minute, and he's in between. So he's kind of he's very stealth mode, and no one knows he's actually come in the line. They're always looking at the center, and he comes in the middle, and he just makes that overlap happen. And you have a look. Boom. We'll play it here. Hopefully it will come up. Always takes its time, this one. Surely. Here we go. We'll go and have it's just great effort. Like boom. And then that's the thing. Like you can have a look at that front runner. The defender's gone in for the front runner, and all of a sudden he knows the cues. If the front runner, if that defender comes in for the front runner, I know it's going to be on at the back all the time. And then all they do is play it. Great work from Nicho Hynes as well, even bringing that defender in even more, playing direct, even if he's at the back. He holds his line, he comes in again, brings that center, and 2-on-1, and we play. It's just little subtleties in these moves. Here's another one. You can have a look at Nicho Hynes. He's way behind the ball play here, and then he shows himself like a stealth mode, and he comes in later. Great front line as well from that center. You have a look at his front line. They play, boom. Unbelievable again. It's just basics. The thing is, you're seeing here that people are doing the same thing over and over again, and it's just they're just having a look at the line, what the line does, and then they can choose their options. Everyone knows they're doing. This is the Union one. This was great work, even though it was a bit of an add-on to the block play. You can do this. You can build on this, and you can. Your world's your oyster here. Your world's your absolute oyster here. But yeah, great work there. This one here is just. Sometimes that happens. You just got to try things. Now, things aren't going to happen. You know, you're going to pick the wrong decision. That's fine. At least you're having a go. You got to put yourself under pressure, and, you know, even the best make the wrong decision, but that's how they get better. And Melbourne are the best at this. So just remember that there's going to be times where you make that wrong decision. Don't get down. Just say, okay, I learned from that. What do you reckon I can do better? Did I get the cues right properly? Why didn't I pick up on that front runner? That defender hitting that front runner so I could hit the back. So just don't get down. This happens. As a ball player, before even pass, you got to be expected to be hit. You're going to get hit sometimes. That's the way it is. You're going to expect to make the wrong decisions. You're going to have to expect you're going to do things wrong, but you just keep going, keep playing away, because that's what good footy players do. They make a mistake, but they get up, they keep training, they keep playing, and that's how you become a pro. So here we go. We'll keep it going here. We've got a lot going. A lot, actually. So that was just a good play to show this doesn't always work. Everyone's in play here. And this is what wasn't great. The front runner wasn't great here, but because everyone's in motion and options, it just opens. Things open when you're like that. When all options are open, everyone's on the same page, things go. Now, this is a great one because this is what I'm talking about, the stealth mode. Now, All Blacks, this is one of the favorite All Blacks move I love, because you can see this front runner. You'll have a look when it comes up. Is a forward, and he's going to go for the winger all the way out on the left side of the Argentina winger. And the timing of it is unbelievable. And the timing is so hard of this move. You got to get off a line out. You don't know the passing. And for him to actually hold his line, and have a look at this winger, how good the stealth mode. So we have a look here. Boom, straight through, and he's through. Now, I'm going to go back to that, and I'm going to have a look at two things. We'll see if this works. I'm going to try and look here. See the winger? The winger started under the 12, and he's going to go all the way. So that's what I'm talking about, stealth mode. Hide yourself. And this is great timing from this forward here. He comes in, and they're really pinpoint. This is pinpoint accuracy. In Union, sometimes it's hard to do a pinpoint accuracy block play, because the line's so thick of players. But when you have off a liner, off of scrums, like, yeah, obviously you've seen the Wallabies do their block, you can really pinpoint people when they've done this. But it's great stealth mode. And have a look at his line. It's a weird line. He's nearly facing the sideway. Change it up. Know the rules, and then you can bend them. And this was just unbelievable. I love this. Boom, gone straight through. Not going to beat that. Just creating that overlap, but it's still a block. It's creating the overlap, but it's overlap, but it's still a block. So great work there. Here we go. Here's one I just thought I'd put in. Now, this is the block here, but it's the second block after this. And you'll have a look at the defender. Look at the defender. He's quite passive. And this is what I think I said before, that if you got a passive defender, just hit the front runner, because usually it's a smaller guy and he's like, oh, I'm just going to see what happens. Just play short and you're always going to get through anyway. At least you'll get really good momentum. So here we go. So if you have a look here, we'll see if it goes. Good try there. So through, play short. And because that guy was really passive, they're going to go here. Have a look at this guy here. Have a look. He goes to his man. And then have a look at the defender. He's really, really passive on that front runner. So he doesn't really want to make a decision. He's going to say, I'm going to wait until the last minute. But because the Queensland just said, no, stuff it. I've got a big guy against a small guy. That's pretty good. So he played him short. And if you have passive defenders, just hit him short and they'll go through, him or her. This is another one. Going to be a block, but everyone stayed off clear and he just went straight through. Things can happen when you have good shape. You've got all options open and you play with some confidence. We'll go to the next one here. This is another one. Good play. Just broke down there. That happens at time. Here's another one. Just everyone knowing their options and things open up when you're going at speed, and just play, be aggressive at him. Believe in your ability, because I'm sure they've done this thousands of times at training. Here we go. I can't remember the next one. Here's another one. Great shapes, boom. Even if you're creating a 2-on-1 or something like there, here's another block. And that one there was just being passive again. He was a passive defender, so he's hit short. As I said before, if you didn't see it, go back to it and watch it. Now, here's a bit of union more, and I thought I'd put a bit more of forwards actually doing great shapes and blocks, because it's really working, especially in Europe, or in down here as well in Australia. It's working quite a lot as well, and they're running pretty good block shapes. I don't think that was one. I don't know why that was in, but that's fine. Here we go. Straight through. That was a block shape, but he's just hit the front runner. Here's another one. Off a line out. I love this line out because everything's direct. So he's hit the front runner, but they're still running block shapes. Okay, hit the front runner. You don't want to always hit the back. You don't want to always hit the front. Just change it up. Here we go. Hit the front runner. Momentum. Here we go. Block shape on. Huge gap. Great decision from the ball player. To be honest, it was probably on out the back as well, but because I have through momentum. You know, the thing you want to have a look at here is that everyone's just running the same shapes over and over again, and then they're just choosing the options they need to choose. If you know your role, you know your line, you know you're pretty good at your timing, you're going to get through. This is great effort. Here's another one. Boom. And you can change it up. See that? You can just build on it. And that kind of move there has been huge, especially in Europe, and because it's a bit muddy in that. But the forwards getting into really good shapes like that, it's really working, especially in the rugby union. These forwards, because everyone's after line speed these days, but they're not thinking that there's shapes outside of them. And if I'm a forward and I'm going and I want to run a block shape, I'm loving that you're coming really forward really quick, because you're going to take me out, but then I've got you because I can play really easy. And have a look at their footwork. They're always on the outside leg. So they might just take it. They're always on the outside leg. They don't even run. They just pass, and everyone's falling for it because they're coming off the line too hard, too heavy. They're not pulling out. They're not thinking about they've got a whole block line shape at the back. So you forwards can really learn from this because it works, and it just goes straight through. Have a look at that. Outside, I'll go back to that. So I might even go back to the both of them. We'll go back to the both of them. Sorry about this. We'll watch this. But have a look at the front runner. It's always on the outside leg. Can play short or play at the back. And they're very, very narrow. See how narrow they are? Bringing that defense in. And we'll have a look at this Wallabies one. See, he doesn't even take a step. Outside leg up. Can play short. Can play at the back. And it's a try. It's really working because these defense, they really want to get up. And they're just a bit late and they can't do it. I can't remember this one. This one's a 9 going around. Still a block shape, narrow. They know what they're doing. That's probably a well set move. But if the centre came in for the and left the front runner, you could have just paid the front runner. But just perfectly done. Stealth mode, as we said as well. Here's another one. Forwards doing their stuff, and then things open. Boom. Great draw and pass there, and they're through. I'm sure there's a couple more. I'll put a fair bit of footage on here. Here they go. Boom. Played narrow, played short. Look out. Just boom, straight through. I can't remember it. That's all right. I'm sure they played a block here. Yep, exactly the same. Outside foot up. Hardly even didn't do anything. Just caught and passed it because the line want to get up fast. It's on all the time. So they did that. Just so if you're a forward and you're thinking, oh, why am I watching the video? Because it's about block. You should be watching it because it's just unbelievable. This one wasn't a block, but this is just, just changing it up. This was no move. It's just running good lines. I just thought I'd put it in there. But you forwards can really do great blocks because it's really working, especially in top level. If you can just get your three pods, I would say 3 pods. Person gets a ball, outside leg up. You can hit short. You can hit the back or go yourself because this defense really want to get up in your face. That's fine. But if you can put some skill on them, it's going to work every time. I hope this helps, guys. If you want any more, I'm going to do more videos. Make sure you subscribe and I can put more videos up and up if you really enjoy the content. And send us some questions on the comments below. And I'll definitely answer and even do a video about it. So hopefully this helps, guys. And just hopefully it will give you another tool in your toolbox for improving your game. Have a good one.